Hello, Cubs fans, and welcome to a brand new edition of Cubs on Tap. I am Ron Luce. I am joined by two of the boys, two of the three. Tyler is currently going to go get some sunshine down in the sunshine state of Florida, so we won't see him for a little bit. But we have almost a full barn tonight, as noted. I am Ron Luce. I am joined by the one, the only, Mr. Joey Ricota, and the one, the only, Mr. Juice on Tap. Boys, first off, happy Sunday. Second off, was great talking Chicago Bears football with you guys on the pre-show. But third off, we have a series win to talk about here for Cubs on Tap. This is the third straight series win for the Cubbies. They take 2 of 3 against the Reds. Obviously, we were live after the Field of Dreams game. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, highly say go listen to it. Juice claimed it as one of his favorites we've done. I agree with him. I think it was a great show. It was all 4. We had a full barn on that show. Great time. But boys, again, good vibes are still going. I left the W hat on. They didn't win today, but we got a series win, so I feel like the W can stay on the hat. But enough of me talking. I want to hear from you guys. Gentlemen, how are you on this beautiful Sunday?
Hi, Ron.
Hi, Juice.
That's it. I'm good.
Oh, that's it? That's all you
got? Moving.
Good.
Which kind of sucks. Yeah, my arms are sore, and I got more shit to do tomorrow. So, yeah. But moving to a cool place.
Yes, very cool play. And Joey, I want to hear from you really quick, and then we're going to return to Juice's moving here because it's exciting. It actually impacts Cubs on Tap for what people might not realize. So I want to hear from you though.
Taking
Joey.
A huge bullet for this, guys.
It might even impact Bears on Tap. So we'll since we were talking Bears,
tease it.
Little tease. We're like saying it's going to happen before we're even sure it's going to happen. But no, man, I'm good. Hopefully Tyler's enjoying himself with the Gators. Hopefully he's hanging out at the mini putt course that you were telling us about. And
I hope he is too, to be honest with you.
Hope he gets a hole-in-one like Happy Gilmore was doing, trying to hit it around the clowns and such, and I guess Gators. But yeah, man, good. We sat here and talked for like an hour before hopping on here about God knows what. So
not quite an hour. It was like
it wasn't an hour, no.
30 minutes, but
no, we had a good chat. Yeah, it wasn't that long. Time flies. That's all. I don't even know what time we actually got on here. So then now I looked at my time and I'm like, holy shit, it's almost 8:20. Like, where did the time even go? But yeah, man, I'm good. Series win, like you said, lost today, but the W hat or the W sign on your hat, it's worth it. It's like it's valid. You can definitely use it.
Yeah, it feels appropriate. I mean, again, here's the cool thing. Even though they only won 2 of 3, no less than 4 runs scored by the offense in all 3 games. That's fucking nice. Like we'll take that. But Juice, let's talk about your move here really quick because I think the people need to know. Would you like to inform the faithful that are Cubs on Tap listeners? Where are you moving, my friend? Tell us.
Yeah, so I live currently in a town outside of South Bend, Indiana. I go to a lot of South Bend Cubs games pretty often. And I've wanted to live in kind of a place that was similar to Wrigley Field for a long time. I lived in Wrigley for a year and a half, and I've been transferred around for work. I lived downtown in Grand Rapids for 2 years, and I lived in the suburb of South Bend for a year now, and my lease came up here, and I was just shot in the dark. Let's try to recreate that Wrigley vibe that I used to have, and I am moving to left field of Four Winds Field tomorrow.
Let's go!
So I will be at every South Bend Cubs home game, most of them. So if you're in town and heading to the ballpark, let me know. Beer's on me if you come on in. For anybody who comes up and says that they listen to Cubs on Tap and wanted to meet me, I promise you for that. It's going to be cool, man. Yeah, right. Well, you guys are already making your plan to come down. We've already kind of talked about this, and we're gonna do a day at Four Winds Field for sure. But excited. I think too, I'm gonna get a chance to see a lot of the young talent before anybody does. I've already done that. I mean, I saw Jordan Wicks a lot this year. I've obviously seen, PCA while he's been there, and Owen Casey, and obviously you can go to the list of names that are down there that are playing there now and have moved through the system. But there's obviously some, years down the line prospects that are going to be rolling through there probably next year. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Triantos is one of those. That'd be really cool for next year.
I want to see that.
Right. So yeah, I'm moving to, they call it the Ivy at Berlin, and going to be out in left field and going to be giving tickets for every home game, and going to be there. It's going to be exciting. I know that these two guys are excited because we're going to get some real down on the farm videos for the show. And I think logistically it's win-win, because Cubs on Tap's going to get a lot of homegrown video talent that I'm going to try to take and try to kind of create a one-stop shop for just opinionated talking points for us to kind of just throw out there for these guys. And I think being a guy who's at most of the games now, it'll be nice to see guys grow, and it'll be nice to, get to meet some of them. That way, Cubs on Tap takes that next leap too. We've had guys on from the big league ball club right now on this show. And I want to kind of create more and give our listener more of the in the trenches look. Cause we obviously tried to do our best and what we see, but just to be the guys that are given, just to have one of those guys that are on the field, talking with us, would be kind of cool. And I'm going to do my best to try to get those guys on the show and to just kind of show their growth. I think it'd be really cool. But I'm excited. I know these two guys are too.
Hell yeah. Sorry. My mic was muted there for a second, but yeah, man, I'm very excited, dude. I want to see, looks like Ron's having some internet issues here, but hello, Ron.
I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped for it though. I was looking down at my phone for a second. I was trying to do a couple things. Somebody's messaging me at the same time, so we all got something at the same time going here. Ron's got internet issues and whatever, so we're good. But no, man, we're back. I can't wait. Getting to watch some of these guys. I have not had a chance to watch anyone in the farm system live. So getting to visit you and drink some beers and hang out over there and have a sweet view, and then get in the ballpark and talk to these guys. This is going to be incredible, man. I can't wait. I'm jealous. Let's put it that way. That's a dream location that you have going on there. So yeah, man, I just can't wait.
Yeah, it'd be fun, man. And I'm excited for you guys to come. I think that's going to be the payoff for it. I think too, it'll be a lot of work, going down and watching these guys every day. And, let's face it, guys, baseball every day can get old. As much as we love it, but I'm going to do my best to be, at most of them and big games too. But yeah, if you're around the ballpark down there, definitely don't hesitate to shoot me a DM, message me, whatever you got to do. I'd love to meet some of our listeners. I think that that's one thing that all of us on this call will definitely say. The coolest thing was going to Wrigley this year and meeting people that were we listen to you guys all the time, and that was fun. Just to have that. Hey man, thank you, and we're always appreciative of it. And I just I think it's we're blessed. It's gonna be fun. I hope that people do reach out.
Absolutely. I agree with you there, Juice. And I'm just letting you know right now, you might have a roommate every other weekend now that you're going to be in a stone's
By all
throw
means,
from the
man,
ballpark.
you come down. You come down. Tickets are free on me.
Deal. Absolute deal. No, it's going to be exciting. So, hey, it's fun for you, my friend, because you're going to be in a cool spot in South Bend. But, it's fun for the brand, too, here at Cubs on Tap, because we're going to be doing a lot of cool shit now. Involving the high A team there down in South Bend with the Cubbies, so that'll be all cool and all tough. And let's do a little transition here into the show here, because our friend Jack says Nico Hoerner is a stud. Yes, he is. And even though the Cubs lost today, He was 3 for 5. But guys, overall, a good weekend from the Cubbies. Obviously, a loss today. 8-5 is the final in the loser today and snoozer. But that's okay because they took Thursday's game, Field of Dreams game, as we recapped on Thursday night. And then they took yesterday's game by knocking mics over again, Juice. They took yesterday's game by a final score of 7-2. Offensive onslaught, as Joey called it. We'll give props where credit is due, my friend.
I like your name,
yeah, Ian Cincinnati. He can't leave Cincinnati without a bomb. And even though it was like the least, that pitch should not have left the ballpark, but that's just Ian being Ian, and because he's got that Cincinnati magic and he got it out of the ballpark. But a big win on Saturday, captured the series. A lot of good shit overall. So, boys, we'll turn our sails that way here a little bit. Thoughts, opinions, just things that you've noticed from this series in these two games, really, in Cincinnati. Obviously, Field of Dreams played in Iowa, because I've got some thoughts. There's a lot of shit I liked, even though they split the two games over the course of Saturday and Sunday. A lot of things I've liked, and I want to hear from you guys first, though. Thoughts on the Cubs' A, series win, and B, just overall this series against the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, man. Ian Happ, I mean, can't leave without a homer, like you said. I mean, it really is Ian Cincinnati. Dude, you could tell the golfing background, too, on that. Like, his dad was, I think he was in charge of putting the courses together and all that, and, like, the landscape and all that. So, actually, I think he might have done, like, the grass work for the courses or whatever, but nonetheless, like, Ian Happ's a big golf fan, and like, he definitely golfed that sucker. Like, that was Will Zalatoris level of golfing ability on that homer. And man, it's good to see the bats really come alive. Yeah, Jack, here in the comments, Ian Happ in Cincy equals one of the best hitters ever. I agree, and it's kind of like this guy in Cincinnati against the Cubs. They have MLB ambassador Joey Votto. They have two farmers, Kyle and Buck, and they have a philosopher. Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, and Aristides Aquino. Because let's think about this for a second. Don't be fooled by his 43% career or this season strikeout rate, because for whatever reason, when he plays the Cubs, he seems to think a lot more clearly. He seems to think a lot better. He plays the Cubs. He hits home runs. Dude, in his career, he's got 10 home runs in like 26 games and OPS over 1,000. I'm just saying, Mount Rushmore for philosophers, you might as well just add Aristides Aquino versus the Cubs in his career. 3 of his 4 home runs this season has come against the Cubs. So, I don't know. That's my other thought. I had to be negative somewhat. That's the only negative, because today they lost this game today. So, fresh on my mind, philosopher Aristides Aquino versus the Cubs. Other than that, man, the Franimal Reyes, this guy, dude, he's kind of figured something out. They talked about it on Saturday with him and Johnny Washington, the assistant hitting coach's relationship. He was there in San Diego with him for a bit, and I think, like, I could be thinking about this a little bit too much, but when you spend time away from somebody like that, like when he went to Cleveland, he had some big power numbers in Cleveland too, but I wonder if he started to get away from some of the stuff that he learned and was doing with Johnny Washington, with that familiar voice in his ear. Coming to Chicago, man, like, and you saw him on the iPad too before his home run. They kept showing that, like with the Lise Menaker talking about it and then interviewing him after the game. Like, he could be a thing, he could be a thing next year too in that DH spot. So I like the opposite field power that he showed, and he's really been hitting the ball. The bats came to life, like you mentioned it about how many runs they scored in each game this series. So Keegan Thompson, the road issues. It's Great American Small Park, I know, but I don't want to go too deep here. Those are kind of like my initial thoughts right now, though, as we're just sitting here.
I like it. Juice?
Yeah, I'm gonna rip that Keegan start up and kind of throw it in the trash. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that he was due for one of those, and let's be honest, he's been just fine where nobody needs to worry about him for the future. But yeah, I like what you said about Franmil. Definitely him going to the opposite field, and that type of power that'll play anywhere. I think in general this series was fun to watch because the Cubs hit the ball out of the ballpark a lot, and that's what's so encouraging for a Cub fan. There is a lot of talk about the lack of power in the lineup, but they overcame that, and in a hitter's park, sure, yeah, you can make that argument, but you still got to hit the ball out, and they did that in bunches in this series, minus the Field of Dreams game. But I said, and you know what? I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it. I said after the Field of Dreams game that there was going to be a huge letdown. And yeah, I watched on yesterday night. I watched today, but it just didn't have that, obviously that sparkle about it, right? I mean, we were spoiled on Thursday, and that's kind of the long and short of it for me. And especially today, I mean, today's ball game, and that's why I don't want to call back to moving into South Bend and Four Winds Field, but I think a lot of guys and a lot of fans of baseball are going to be just straight shocked about pitch clock. I mean, I'm not going to lie, today's game, there's a lot of offense, but it took so long. I mean, I was at a South Bend Cubs game that was 2 hours, 10 minutes. And that's what is coming, soon, which is awesome. The fact that, baseball doesn't have to be this long, drawn out, 5-hour affair. Yeah, I don't mind it. I love being in a ballpark, and especially at Wrigley, but yeah, there's some speed to it, to bringing in the younger generation, that I think that they're doing a lot of things right. And the pitch clock, I'll tell you that it's not something that bothers the hitter or the pitcher. It was a hell of an experience for me too. I mean, to get up and to come back and for there to be an out, opposed to a lot of times you get up and come back and you've only missed a couple pitches, I think it's a change. It's a huge adjustment. And I don't want to badmouth what the game is now, but I do like when the MLB makes changes that I think help, the viewership and help, grow the game and move it forward. And this is one of them that I think that I thought all day today while I was watching this game. I'm like, man, pitch clock would be so awesome right now, because both pitchers and even the guys out of the pen took so long, prior to throwing pitches, that I was like, man, I can't wait until this is at the big league level, because it does help. And I don't know. It was fun yesterday. It was good to see them win. Today was kind of a long, dragged out thing for me, I think. And I don't know if anybody had that feeling too while watching, but that was just my 2 cents I just kept thinking of this could go so much faster with this pitch clock, and I can't wait till that's here.
Yeah, and like you said, Juice, it really is coming. I mean, it's right around the corner. It's certainly something they're experimenting with in the minor leagues, getting an idea for it, getting a feel for it. That way, when they do introduce it at the major league level, they kind of know what works, what doesn't work. But I agree. I think sometimes the high scoring ball game is a lot of fun, but at the same time, the high scoring ball game takes 4 fucking hours sometimes to get through, and that's a long time. That is a long contest. For most people, 2.5 to 3 hours is a pretty normal athletic contest, right? Across all sports, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, what have you, right? It's kind of the norm. So I'm absolutely there with you. But yeah, I mean, in today's game, obviously the highlights being Nico Horner 3 for 5 today was cool and tough. McKinstry continuing to hit. He was 2 for 5 today. Wisdom with the 2 hits and the 2-run bomb out of him. And then, on, like you said, Juice, on Saturday's game, that was a fun game to watch. Franmil goes oppo for his 10th of the season overall. Ian Happ gets his 10th of the season in terms of homers. And then even Willie Contreras gets his 17th of the season in Cincinnati. They hit well. They did a good job. Yeah, Keegan due for kind of a shitty outing. It happens, definitely. I'm getting a little bit of Kyle Hendricks vibes with Keegan in terms of home and away splits, right? Kyle Hendricks has always dominated at Wrigley. Kyle Hendricks on the road is always not necessarily a totally different pitcher, but a slightly different pitcher. I think Keegan might become that guy, and not necessarily in the same sense, right? Because Kyle and Keegan aren't the same pitcher, but maybe he just feels more comfortable pitching in the friendly confines, and that's not a bad thing. I love a guy that can dominate at home, because here's the thing: you get 82 games at home or 81 games at home every single season. If you win majority of those 81 games, you're usually in a pretty good spot, no matter how you do on the road, when things come down to it at playoff time. So,
yeah,
I'm right
and
there with
Ron,
you guys.
I want to touch on that too, because I'm not ready. I'm kind of like what Juice was saying earlier as well. I'm not ready to like sit here and proclaim that he does have struggles on the road more so than at home, because I think like it's tough to say, right? Like those two games that he had hiccups in with the Yankees and the Orioles kind of like offset things a lot. And then you look at this game, the Yankees, hitter's ballpark, Orioles for the most part, hitter's ballpark, except they did move the fences back. And then today you had the hitter's ballpark in Great American Small Park. So it's like, it's tough for me to be like, yeah, and once again, Aristides Aquino, the philosopher, like he thinks outside the box. That was a fastball outside of the strike zone box, off the outside corner that he took. That wasn't a terrible pitch. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, so he was just sitting dead red, and he was just like, I'm gonna uncork one. So it's like, I don't know if we can sit here yet and say that he's like a guy that's going to struggle on the road, but like he has, so that's the thing. It's like, is it a thing or is it not? And it could be I'm watching for it. You know what I mean? Like, I think we should just watch for it.
Yeah. No, completely fair. I agree. I think it's not something to get worried about too much yet. I think some of it too, like Keegan's not used to pitching this many innings in a season either, right? Like I know that has been a conversation of topic on a couple of the latest broadcasts, right? Where it's like, oh, hey, he's not used to pitching this much in a single season yet. So, some of that could be that. Some of that could be fatigue. You just hope that fatigue is not too much to the point where like derails any kind of progression, right? Like if he has a bad start here and there, so be it, right? Like especially in this season, this is the season to do it. Get all the kinks out, right? It's like when you shoot around before a pickup basketball game, right? You get all the air balls out before you start actually playing meaningful basketball. It's the same idea here. Get all the shitty starts out now. Like go through your struggles, develop, right? Juice and I talked about this at length on the show when we were talking about Justin Steele's start. Like just go through those growing pains. It's okay to go through those growing pains right now, because this is the time to do it when it doesn't matter. Get it out of the way, get through it, and who knows? We might be sitting here this year and being like, oh, yeah, Keegan was much better at home than he was on the road, but next year he might come back and become this super balanced pitcher that all of a sudden all of us are kind of biting our tongues and like, well, we're kind of wrong about that one. And I think that's something we'd all be happily wrong about in the grand scheme of things when it all comes down to it. But guys, I know, while we're talking a little bit about pitching here, obviously Keegan, a little bit of a struggles today, in the game yesterday, a little bit different in terms of Cubs pitching. Things looked just a smidge better. Sampson only went 4 innings, but didn't look atrocious. Only gave up the 2 runs, walked 3, K'd 6. Newcomb looked pretty good in his 2 innings. The 2 walks, whatever, but 5 Ks in 2 innings is cool and tough. Hughes continues his good shit, and Ullman looked really good. Good to kind of bounce back for him after a couple of rough outings the last couple times out. So I think the pitching is in really good shape overall, truthfully. And I kind of want to talk about Brandon Hughes really quick, if you guys don't mind, because we saw 2 perfect innings out of this guy in the Field of Dreams game. And it really stuck out to me on yesterday's broadcast on the Saturday game. They were talking about it and how Brandon Hughes has kind of said he wants to be, right? Like when Scotty Effross was still here, he was everyday Effross. Brandon Hughes wants to be everyday Hughes. And I kind of like that. Like, I'm kind of here for that. I'm kind of here for the Brandon Hughes. You are the reliable lefty to come out of the pen every single fucking day that we need you. It doesn't matter how many days rest you have. Because right now, the way he's been pitching, overall over the course of the season, he's been incredible. But, like, especially of late, kind of in that time when he knew, like, hey, I got to step up and take a bigger role in this team now that guys like Effross and Robertson and Givens have been cleared out and moved on. I think Brandon Hughes can be that guy for this team. Like, I think we can look back on it, and Brandon Hughes can be the relief pitcher coming out of the bullpen that has the most innings pitched year after year. Like, this guy thrives in that environment, and you like guys like that, right? Like you want a guy that's like, yeah, send me out there 4 times this week. I don't give a single fuck. Like, let me go out there and shove and do what I do. And here's the difference. He's backing it up too, right? Really good inning today. 2 really good innings the other day. I mean, fuck, he pitched an inning, like we said, on Saturday. And then, we didn't see him today because of, they were losing. But again, in 2 meaningful games in this series, when you're up with a lead, Brandon Hughes comes in and looks really, really, really good. So, yes, the overall bullpen has been very good, right? Wick has been really nice ever since the trades. Rucker has really stepped up overall and looked really good. Obviously, today's game, I don't want to say a little bit of struggle, but he gave up 1 run, whoop-de-dee, but he still went almost 2 innings, only gave up 1 run. But, like, overall, bullpen is good. Brandon Hughes, though, sensational. I don't know how you guys feel about Brandon Hughes.
I wish that this conversation echoed the lineup just as much as it echoes the bullpen right now, because exactly what you said is happening, Ron. The trades that were shipped out mainstays and guys who were pitching every day have now opened up opportunities for these young guys to succeed. The problem is on the other side in the lineup, you still have guys like Wisdom, like Schwindel, and I know he was sent down, but Rafael Ortega. Like, there are still guys on this roster that you look at and you're like, man, like they're blocking who knows from coming up and making an impact and showing that they can, do things at their major league level. I hate it because I wish that mirrored both sides, because this is the time for the Cubs to do that. It's a time to figure out what you have. And in the case of Brandon Hughes, it's all about learning if his stuff plays. And these games don't matter. And he's learning that this matters, that his stuff does play. That it's a matter of, every single time he goes out, he's learning how to get batters out with the stuff that he has. I just wish that, like, we were mirrored on both sides of the baseball for this, because this is exactly what we talked about, what the plan should be in the second half. It should be to get looks at guys to see if they can stick. And I just feel like maybe we're missing out on some Brandon Hughes-like breakouts because we're getting Rafael Ortega in the leadoff spot. Those are the things that really piss me off and make me think, like, what the hell? But Brandon Hughes he's been fantastic. And my hope by the end of this is that, like, yeah, I hope he has that bulldog, attitude. I want to pitch every day. I want to be everyday Hughes. But I'm hoping that there's like 8 to 9 of those guys out there by the end of this whole thing that are like, yeah, at any moment Ross can go to one of these 9 names and feel comfortable in any situation, because that's what, like, playoff bullpens are made of. And the Cubs have so many awesome pieces right now. It's been one of the best bullpens since the trade deadline, which is shocker, right? When you trade out that many guys that have been, just mainstays in that pen and now you're shuffling different, guys in and out to places that you don't know if they can succeed or not. But that's the whole beauty of, like, being in a rebuild and realizing that, like, these guys are. I heard about, like, I went back in, like, the 2012, 2010 kind of run there, that era where they were talking about, Theo Epstein was talking about finding a guy who is a fringe prospect that makes himself a pillar. And, like, that's what we're seeing, but I feel like we're missing opportunities to see what these guys can do right now for some of these guys in AAA. Like, I would love to see, anybody other than Rafael Ortega every day. I really would, because I just don't think it benefits the long-term, direction of this franchise. And I just wish Brandon Hughes, like, the best, because he's in the situation and he's able to pitch every day, but I wish there was more opportunity for everybody else.
Yeah. No, I think that's an incredibly good point as well. Joey, I feel like you've got some good thoughts here too.
Yeah, because it just gets me fired up, dude. I get pissed off when we start talking about this let the kids play shit, because it's infuriating when you got Rafael Ortega playing every day and hitting leadoff. I just don't understand. I know he pinch hit Velasquez today. I was playing my game when I didn't even see up to that point in the game yet today. But, dude, Like I'm just whether it's Nelson Velasquez or hold on, guys, hold on. Let me dust off the singing voice. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. West Virginia University product Darius Hill has been fucking raking at AAA. Hitting 340 with an OPS of what? I don't even know. His on base is like 372 or something.
It's very
in
high.
54 games at AAA. Whether it's him or Nelson Velasquez or whoever, or Christopher Morel, stop with the Ortega. I think we're done with Rafael Ortega. I agree with Juice. I'm just, it pisses me off. So I had to start singing to get like in a better mood. But yeah, I mean, those are my only thoughts on that. It makes me mad. I was talking to my buddy Mitch at the game, who's a diehard Cubs fan today, talking about that. We talk Cubs all the time, and he's like the biggest supporter of that too. Like he gets just as upset about this as I do when we talk Rafael Ortega and let the kids play, and just let Nelly V swim, let Darius Hill swim, let the kids play. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it.
Yeah, and I mean I'm right there with you, man, because like here's a couple of fun little facts. I know everybody's like, oh, Nelly V has struggled against, right-handed pitching this year and blah blah blah, whatever. His OPS is a 779 as Saturday because he didn't play in today's. Well, he played very briefly, so his OPS is now a 790. Even with that, at 790, here are the players on the roster that were in the lineup today that he has a better OPS than. Seiya Suzuki. He's really damn close to Ian Happ, only 6 points off of Ian Happ. Better than Rafael Ortega. Better than Nico Horner. Better than Patrick Wisdom. Better than Yan Gomes. And even better than his buddy Christopher Morel. So I agree. Like, it's time to let these guys play, right? Like, we want to see more Nelson Velasquez. I want to see Christopher Morel. He had a home run today. That's cool and fucking tough. That's shit we like to see. But unless these guys are getting ample opportunity to grow, and, and like you said, right, there's so many guys at AAA that are worth a shot right now. Darius Hill, Matt Mervis, like guys that maybe a lot of people that are the casual Cubs fan haven't heard of. But, like, these are guys that should be getting a look. This is the season to do it. You suck. You're going to be bad. Let the kids play, because when these kids play and they do have some kind of success, it helps confidence. What happens when you're confident? You usually do better at whatever you're trying to do when you're a little bit confident, right? If these guys that are already coming up, right, like going back, because Juice laid this out in the offseason when we were on this show talking, right? This is a 5-course meal of Cubs prospects coming. We're only in the appetizer phase. This is the hors d'oeuvres. This is the starters. But son of a bitch, that can set the course for a really good fucking menu for the rest of the time when these guys come up early and produce. And we're seeing that with Christopher Morel. We're seeing that with Nelson Velasquez. We're seeing that with some of these other guys. Let the kids swim, right? Like, yes, do I enjoy Patrick Wisdom? I do. I enjoy him as a player. I enjoy the Patrick Wisdom jokes. I enjoy all of it. But at the same time, is he taking away a lineup spot from somebody who might be a longer part of the future? Yeah, there's a good chance he is. And the fact that they set Frank Schwindel down, I love Frank Schwindel. I wish Frank nothing but the best. But the fact they were willing to do that and valued a roster spot for somebody else over him, whether it was, they didn't say, hey, Nelson, you're going back to AAA, right? No. They saw the value in keeping him up. Good. Then let him fucking play. Yes. Mm-hmm. Let Nelly V swim. Let Christopher Morel play every day. I loved him playing third base today. Love that a lot. I know, Juice, you've hollered from the rooftop. I think we all have in some capacity, right? Let him play everywhere. Let him figure it the fuck out on the fly. Because guess what? When you have that lineup versatility, when you have these young guys coming in and playing meaningful roles on a ball club that, sure, maybe you're not the greatest right now, but they have a winning record out of the All-Star break here, boys. Like, this is a team that's playing good baseball of late. They are building that momentum and some of those building blocks here for the future. And it is really exciting. And again, going back to the hitting, right? Like we talked about it at length. Franmil goes yard this weekend. Happ goes yard this weekend. Happ had a really good day on Saturday, 4 ribbies for him in Saturday's win. Like, We got to see Jan Gomes and Morel go back-to-back today. Like, it felt like the Bats kind of woke up in this series as a whole, too, which was really nice to see. So I'm going to turn it back over to you two. Thoughts on the Bats and thoughts on whatever else, really, that comes to mind here about this Cubs series. Because truthfully, boys, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I got to see a little bit of today's game. I got to see a good amount of yesterday's game, if not all of it, truthfully. And I am just so happy this team came away with another series win, because that's momentum that you take building into a series against Washington this week, which, again, team you already took 2 of 3 against, absolutely should do it again. So I have a lot of faith and excitement about this Cubs team going into the next week, and I want to hear from you guys on your thoughts as well with the Bats and everything like that.
Yeah, Ron, I want to touch on like what you just said just real quickly too, like about Rafael Ortega and stuff. Like it's less about like when he goes 2 for 5, we should be happy, right? He goes 2 for 5, scored a run. He got a walk, whatever. It's just so much less of it about like whatever he does this year, because none of us think that he's a part of the team next year. So it's like, why is he playing? Because he's not a part of the team next year, unless they really think they need a left-handed bench outfield bat. Left-handed hitting outfield bench bat, because he's not starting next year. You're not walking into next season saying he's my starting leadoff hitter in center field. We're not doing that. So it's like, and there's so many guys that are Rule 5 eligible that need roster spots that it makes no sense. And like, I don't know. I hate to sound like I'm bitching. We're 2 out of 3 wins this series. No, I'm not gonna bitch about this shit, because it gets like depressing when you start. That's like the one thing you can narrow down, like that. The only real thing that I can say I'm upset about with this entire series or whatever. But like at the same time, you pinch hit for Nelson Velasquez, and you got him a little bit of playing time. I think he started the Field of Dreams game, so. I don't know. I guess those are like last thoughts of this series. Like the hitting was good. The hitting was really good all around. Like even Wisdom, like, we talk shit about him a lot, but he could be in a decent platoon spot if they wanted to do that next season. They didn't trade him. So like I'm sure he's going to be starting the year with the Cubs next year, unless they make an offseason trade, because his value is more important as a trade chip or as a piece playing on a cheap contract like he is, than it is to just like outright get rid of him. So Wisdom, I get like, let him play. He's got to play at this point, whether he's at first base or DH. Like, you can mix in some guys at third base, but he's probably got to play at this point. Like, I don't really hate that one as much. Some of the other things are like, the results don't matter. We know the results don't matter. So that's why it's like, yeah, they won 2 out of 3. Whoop-de-doo. We beat the fucking Reds. The Reds aren't any good. We know the Reds aren't any good. And anybody that'll tell you, like, oh, well, yeah, ha-ha, we just beat you. We Field of Dreams game, and we beat you in Cincinnati for game 1 of the series in Cincinnati. Or game 2, I guess, technically. But at Cincy, it's like, okay, where'd you get that? Like, it's just all about what these guys are actually doing individually. So, I don't know. I'm being real sour right now, but those are pretty much my final thoughts, because I'm still like, I'm very positive about the direction of the team overall, though.
Sour Juice, you got any thoughts?
No, I got a good analogy, and I know that Joey Cheese over there will appreciate this one. And Ron, you put it on the table already. You talked about guys like Christopher Morel and Nelly V and Brandon Hughes as being, the appetizers. You know what they are? They're the garlic bread of the meal. And who doesn't like to have fucking more garlic bread? Nobody. Everybody loves a little bit more garlic bread before you eat. To be honest, if you're going to indulge, you love when that second basket comes out after you finish the first. It's time for the Cubs to give us that goddamn second basket. We've been starved of this whole thing for how long now? We had Morel. We love watching Nelly V here. Hughes has been great, but I'm waiting for that second basket, man. Like I'm looking at the waiter in Carter and in Jed as like, man, I've been out of garlic bread for like the last like 6 series here, man. I need the second basket. Where's it at? So hey, somebody please hail the waiter, because I'm ready.
I have literally nothing that can beat that juice. I really don't, because that analogy is absolutely perfect. We all love when that batch of garlic bread comes, or like if you ever go to Red Lobster, it's the second batch of those cheesy biscuits. Like, it's the same idea, right? Like, you want more of that. Give me more. Give us more of that, right? Give us these young guns. Give us the good shit. We'll still find room for the meal when the time comes, but we need more of the garlic bread, and that is these young guns that are already with the team. We want to see more of them. We want to see them producing. I think that's a great way to put it. So again, gentlemen, Cubs take Saturday's game 7-2, lose today 8-5, but still a series win against the Cincinnati Reds, and they venture away just slightly further east now from Cincinnati. They will be going into Washington, D.C., because the Cubs and Nats are back at it again, this time from Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Tomorrow's first pitch on Monday, August 15th, is at 6:05 Central Daylight Time. A little early start. We'd love to see it. Juice, that's 7:05 for you, buddy, in the good old Eastern time zone. If you're listening in the Chicago network or Chicago area, you know exactly where you're listening to that. It's 70 Score and Key Networks, where you can watch it. If you're out in Washington, D.C. by chance, it's WJFK 106.7 The Fan. And Maryland Area Sports Network 2 is where you can catch that one on television. For the Cubbies, it is right-hander number 0, Agent 0. Mark Stroman's on the mound for the Cubbies tomorrow. Appointment television for somebody like myself. He is 3-5 on the season with a 4.20 ERA. That's nice. With 74 Ks so far. And as for the Nats, it's a guy we've already seen in this last series. It's Josiah Gray, the right-hander, 7.88 on the season with a 4.81 ERA and 127 strikeouts. We'll get to see him yet again after seeing him in that first series against the Nats just earlier this week. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it right back over to you guys. A little preview what we expect from this Nats series. Normally it'd be 3 games, and then they would probably have an off day if you look at the calendar. But they have a makeup game in Baltimore on Thursday, and then they come home for the Milwaukee Brewers series, in which I will be at 2 of those 3 games. So be sure to follow Cubs on Tap on Twitter and Instagram for all of your great on-site content. But, gentlemen, won't get too far ahead of ourselves here. Washington Nationals, what do the boys need to do, not only in tomorrow's game, but over the course of the series as well, to get some W's?
Think they need to pitch well and hit the bat, hit the ball. See the bat, hit the ball. Yeah, don't hit the bat.
Don't hit the bat. Hit the bat, punch him in the mouth.
I want the pitchers to hit the bat, the opposing pitchers to hit the bat of our Chicago Cubbies. Yeah, man, it'd be cool to see Marcus Stroman and Justin Steele deal the first 2 games of that series. And as Juice said, let the garlic bread play. That's about it.
Let the garlic bread play.
T-shirt idea.
I like that.
That is a T-shirt idea. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm as excited for this Washington Nationals series as I was for my last root canal. So let's be real about this, guys. It's 2 really bad baseball teams, and let the garlic bread play. I don't know. Get out there and play some baseball. Play like a champion today. What am I supposed to say? I mean, these games are they're meaningless, and a lot of the organization isn't giving us more garlic bread. So I guess I'll just keep chewing on these crumbs, that are kind of just around. So until I got a whole new loaf at my table, I guess I'll just say, just keep playing baseball, and I hope everybody has a fun time and buys a hot dog, and those are my thoughts.
You know what? I think we're waiting on. We are waiting on obviously more garlic bread, but we need some pasta with some sugo so that we can dip that garlic bread in the sauce. Because when you finish your pasta, you absolutely need to use the garlic bread and clean your plate. You have to. It's a rule. You have to clean your plate with the sauce. It's just that's how you do it. You don't take it over and rinse it with water. You don't do that. Sorry, you just don't do that. So I have no idea what this relates to as far as Cubs go, but yeah, that's about it.
I don't know, Joey. I hope people can realize, like, as they're listening to this episode, that like I can smell the garlic just fuming out of your pores right now from the Italian in that statement that you just made. But I agree.
Olive oil
You
Joe over
absolutely-
there.
You
Telling us how to eat our
should.
food.
It was real hot. It
Absolutely
was
should.
real hot today, man. I was sweating a lot. There probably is some like olive oil coming out. Not gonna lie.
That's okay. Hey, that's okay. You know what? I agree with you guys, though, right? You want to clean up your plate in that beautiful red sauce with the garlic bread. This is a concoction that the Cubs are creating here in Chicago. This is a well preserved, well presented meal that's going to be on display soon. And for now, give us enough to tease us until the main course gets here. And I agree with you guys. I want to see more of the kids in this series. This is a perfect series, it feels like, to play a guy like Nelly V every single day, play a guy like Christopher Morel every single day, and let Brandon Hughes be everyday Hughes and pitch every game in this series, especially if you have a lead, because I feel like he thrives coming in when the Cubs have a lead. Fun fact, and this is what I'll leave us here on before we wrap this show up. A very familiar face is pitching against the Cubs on Wednesday in this series. So you mentioned Justin Steele. He is on the mound on Tuesday. But then Wednesday will be Drew Smiley against Iowa Cubs legend Corey Abbott is taking the bump for the Washington Nationals on Wednesday. So
They're gonna
realistically,
smack him, dude. They're gonna smack him all around the yard. He's not.
or
good.
he's gonna pitch 7 shutout innings because fuck us, right? So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
It could go either way, truthfully, in this whole thing. But certainly going to be a good
Either
series
way, I'll be
coming
at the
up.
South
Hopefully-
Bend Cubs game.
There you go. We'll find Juice. We'll find Juice over in South Bend watching the youngsters. But agree with you guys. Hey, if they can get the bats going, keep it up. Let's win another series. That's kind of the theme down the stretch here, right? Win another series. Teach these young guys how to win. And let that kind of melt over in the next season as this team hopefully improves and develops in the offseason, and this team comes out looking different, looking to compete maybe in the NL Central in 2023. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take 2 of 3 against these Nats, and that all starts with a W tomorrow on Monday evening with the Shro Show on the Bump. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, I do want to remind everybody Cubs on Tap is the official Cubs podcast of the On Tap Sports Network. You can check out all of our great work over at ontapsportsnet.com and at ontapsportsnet on social media. You can follow the pod-specific accounts for us here at On Tap. We're at Cubs on Tap. CUIS. That's Twitter and Instagram. You can follow myself on the Bluebird app. I am at Loose on Tap. Joey is at Joey Knows Nothing. Juice is at Juice on Tap. Be sure to follow at TeddyFreddy270 as well, and all our other great contributors here at Bulls Guy Robin, at Brandon M. Kane, who all do great work for us here on the Cubs side of the house. Bulls, Bear, Blackhawks, you know the drill. We got it all. And yes, Cubs fans, you know the idea. We all got friends that like the Southsiders. Send them our friends at Sox on Tap. They do a good job covering the guys at 35th and Shields. OnTapSportsNet.com, at OnTapSportsNet on social media, the OnTap Sports Network. Go ahead and check out what's on tap in Chicago sports. Boys, it's always a pleasure. Always a great job doing a show with you guys, especially on a Sunday night. A little Sunday fun day action, I think, for a couple of us. Juice is busy moving. Joey and I are just doing our normal thing. But we will be back with you guys after tomorrow's show. It'll be a Monday night episode here from Cubs on Tap. And boys, in the meantime, what do you say? We get out of here the only way we know how? At Cubs on Tap?
Jed, the garlic bread. We need it now.
And clean your plate. Clean the sugo with some garlic bread.
And let's go, Cubbies.